everyone. Today we'll be discussing our animatronics project for FEDD.
In order to complete our FEDD project, first we identified the problem of creating an animatronic object that would move by itself. Then we had to identify all criteria and constraints which are within the FEDD project manual on the wiki. The criteria were that the thing had to move, the price range was less than $45, and it had to be fit inside a square meter box. Then we brainstormed possible solutions, which we came up with various ideas of what we could make. Then we explored the possibilities of building it in various methods, such as coming up with a Lego wolf, several other ideas, although we eventually decided on the wolf. Then we selected the way we would build this wolf and how we would do it. We decided to make it out of Legos and with a metal skeleton within the thing that would have the moving pieces. Then we built a model with Ryan completing the metal skeleton at his home, and he attached a servo that would allow the head to move. Then we built up the Lego body around it. We tested it several times and had a few problems, but eventually we refined a design that allowed it to move perfectly, and we made it so it wouldn't fall apart every time we had to build it. It was rather difficult to get all pieces together because the structural integrity of the head especially was rather iffy due to the heavy weight attached to such a small point. But we solved this by hollowing out the head and making sure it all fit together nice and perfectly.
For the frame of the wolf, we were trying to decide between several different substances. We finally went for just a standard steel frame welded because I know how to weld, and we went with a 3-inch wide base plate that's about an 1/8 inch thick, and then we went with a 1/2 inch wide steel for the structure, about an 1/8 inch thick again, just standard triangle shape to get the skeletal structure of the wolf, and then we built kind of all the wolf parts, the live looking parts of the wolf around the metal frame. For the moving parts of the wolf, the actual live motions, what we did is we have one 180-degree servo bought at a hobby shop for about $20, and then wired into a radio transmitter that transmits to a standard RC controller, and wired in with a 4 AA battery pack into the radio transceiver, and it allows us to control the servo 180 degrees with the controller so we can make the head look like it's going up and down.
Alright, I worked on the base and the body of the wolf. The base, what we wanted to do is we wanted to make it a rectangle, long enough and wide enough in order to actually facilitate the frame. Now, the base is just very simple. It's about 1 foot by about 1/2 foot. The body itself actually climbs up almost like an escalator. It has both sides that are basically equal and a front that is actually removable. The removable front allows for us to put in a frame. Now this way we can easily accommodate the size of the frame without having to worry about getting it out for repairs or anything of that kind. And on the back, we wanted to use flat pieces to kind of show that the back was actually lifting without having it too rugged like most Legos are.
So for the pause, we didn't really have to think much about it since they didn't add any weight to the structure, and they did add some support. So we just went with normal wolf paws. So for the head, we had to think about making it light enough so that the structure can actually support its weight, but durable enough so that the pieces stay together. So we had to hollow out the head so that it'd be light enough, and we distributed all the way to the back part where most of the stability came from. We then attached the bottom of the jaw to the top of its mouth so that whenever its head was down, it appeared to be closed. But then as the head slowly raised up, it would open up the mouth.
Now we wanted the wolf to look more wolf-like, and with the base being rectangular, it didn't really look too much like a wolf, and so we decided to add a tail kind of for a aesthetic effect.
At the FEDD competition, we came in third and won by default, so it's not really a reflection on our work, it's just what happened. If we did it over differently, we wouldn't make it out of Legos because they fell apart really easily. We'd probably just do like a balsa wood frame. And my advice to next year...